Top Missouri Republicans are flocking to former President Donald Trump's defense after the Supreme Court announced last week it would weigh in on if he can appear on the 2024 presidential ballot. It comes as two states, Colorado and Maine, ruled Trump cannot run for the office because of his actions surrounding the January 6th attack. Missouri Capitol Bureau Chief Joe McLean hears from Missouri officials who are promising retaliation.
This month, I asked Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft what would happen if the U.S. Supreme Court upheld the decision of Colorado's Supreme Court that Donald Trump engaged in an insurrection and is disqualified from running for president.
The Supreme Court's not going to uphold it.
If they do, though,
the Supreme Court's not going to uphold it because they would have to go against the plain language of the United States Constitution.
But on Friday, the Supreme Court said it will weigh in on the case. And today, I asked Ashcroft the question again.
You're going to see secretaries of state that are going to say, well, if that's the rule for one side, that's going to be the rule for the other side. And it's going to be a tit for tat. It's going to be everybody. It's a terrible, we can't go down that road. It would tear our country apart.
Ashcroft did not outright say that he would remove President Biden from Missouri's ballot if that happens.
What I have said, if you look back at my tweet, that secretaries of state will make sure that the rules are enforced equally.
Meanwhile, multiple Missouri state senators, including one of Ashcroft's gubernatorial primary rivals, Bill Eigel, are filing legislation to block any presidential candidate who has an unresolved impeachment inquiry against them, but would not disqualify impeached presidents. Mr. Trump is the only president to have been impeached twice. Congressional Republicans have approved an impeachment inquiry against President Biden. Democratic State Representative Ian Mackey blasts both administrative and legislative attempts to block Biden as shameless hypocrisy.
Only one president engaged in an insurrection, and it wasn't Joe Biden, it was Donald Trump. Only one president engaged in a fake elector scheme to try to overthrow the election in which he was a candidate, to overturn our democracy and our system of government.
Missouri's primary election date is August 6th. In Jefferson City, Joe McLean, First Alert 4.